There are other different types of dementia, and depending upon where the difficulties lie, that in the illness determines the course of treatment.
Yes, you can. All you have to do is want to do it.
Yes.
Want to be it.
When you set your mind to it, and this is who you are, and
the grown men. We have the youth that we need to mentor, and we need to inspire, and we need to motivate. But I know, as a recent conversation between you and I, that you're also in the business of motivating grown men. Through that, I'm supposed to see God in it at every turn. So me going to the Sea of Galilee was to remind me of that, to refresh myself of that. It is all under control, that He does have it. It's just as clear as that fresh water that I saw.
You're Our Unity, hosted by LeShawn Walker, Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. PST.
Welcome, everyone, to Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to be kind to yourself and to others. We want you to just lead with love and compassion, giving back to others, but also giving back to yourself with a kind gesture or a kind word. I am your host, LeShawn Walker. I'd like to welcome you in. Please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know that we're on right now. The weather outside is frightening. It is so cold outside right now. Clearly, winter is upon us. I hope that you guys are warm. I hope you're nestled up close to some TV and a fireplace right now as you're watching Our Unity. It's been a really great day and a great week, actually, as well. In the spirit of the holidays and Christmas coming, it's just been a really beautiful season of sharing and giving. That's why I'm asking everyone to be kind, because that's exactly what's been going on in my world lately. It's just being kind to others and also being kind to myself, forgiving myself, giving myself a little love and self-care, and making sure that I'm checking in with myself as well. So I advise you guys to do the same. So tell me also what's going on in your world. Are you ready for the Christmas holiday? It is literally like a week and change away. And, not a big fan, but I have been in the spirit of this season lately. And mostly because I think, if you guys remember last week when my daughter was here, that I was discussing the fact that we are putting on our first annual Our Unity Sandy Claus toy and boot giveaway. It is for 11 families that we've adopted that have experienced some unforeseen circumstances in their life, or maybe they have some children with, special needs who are just in need of extra care this holiday season. So we've adopted 11 families. They are throughout the Nassau and Suffolk area, as well as a couple of families in Brooklyn, in honor of my friend Sandy, who personified the spirit and the magic of Christmas. My best friend, my business partner, my heart, she's no longer here with us, but I wanted to honor how she felt and all that she had in her heart during this time with others by being a gift and giving. So we were just packing away all the gifts that we've received. I want to thank everyone that's contributed, who's given so far. It's a labor of love, and I'm really enjoying it, though, it's a lot of work. But I'm excited to visit these families on Saturday. I'll be playing the little Santa Claus role, and I'll be driving the gifts to each family and just, giving them with my love and giving them with our heart. So again, to everyone that contributed, I thank you so, so much. There is still time. So give me a call. we can work it out. But again, Christmas is here. So this is the season for giving. This is the season for love. This is the season to share with your family and friends. And it's also the season for you to move forward in your blessings for the next year. Now, I wanted to talk to somebody today who, to me is just a wonderful example of what kindness is. She's a young lady that I recently met by one of my friends, Savitri and Celine Ferdinand. If you remember, she is a beautiful little pageant queen that I've had on the show a number of times. Well, she introduced me to this amazing pageant queen who is all about kindness and all about overcoming and empowering yourself. So I want to introduce you to her today and tell you that the title of the show is The Beauty of Kindness. And we'll be discussing that with the beautiful Kayla Toure. She is a second generation West African who is an exceptional, vivacious, and diligent 18-year-old. She is the definition of a genuine champion and survivor. Disastrously, Kayla was born with venous malfunction and incurable blood vessel deformity and alopecia areata, an autoimmune disease. She has become an advocate for proper medical care, and through this hardship, she found her passion for acting and social justice activism. At the age of 8, Kayla and her classmates had the privilege of performing on Broadway alongside the Disney in Schools program. In that moment, Kayla knew she was destined to become an award-winning actress. Kayla is currently attending Pace University, majoring in film and entertainment. She prides herself in being a firm believer in spreading hospitality and has created an international movement called Kindness with Kayla. Her movement is centered around promoting kindness while educating the youth on disability awareness. As a result, she has been able to turn her tragedies into a success story as a proud motivational. Kayla has recently earned the prestigious title of the National American Miss Teen. She has connected with thousands of students through sharing her children's book, I Am Not My Hair, I Am My Soul. Pageantry has also transformed Kayla into the strong, charismatic, and intelligent young woman she is today. She believes that no matter your skin color, where you come from, or the obstacles you may face, you can be anything you put your mind to. So please help me welcome the beautiful Miss Kayla Toure. How are you, lovely?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm so glad that you said you are amazing because you really, truly are. I hope you know that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. It's such an honor being able to speak to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you actually taking the time to be here because I know that you have a very busy schedule. So I appreciate you fitting us in. I want us all to just learn a little about who you are and your dreams and the path that you're on. So again, welcome to Your Unity, and let's just dig right in. So, as I mentioned in your bio, you are of West African descent. You were born here in New York.
I was Brooklyn, to be specific.
Oh, nice, nice. So tell us real quick a little about your childhood, your upbringing, and your culture.
I grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant. It's in Brooklyn. It is a low-income community. So for me, growing up, my family and I, we didn't really have a lot of opportunities that other families had. But I was able to turn my tragedies into a success story through being a part of pageantry.
Nice.
Like I said, also, or like you said, I am West African. My father is from Mali, and I do rep Africa very hard because it is a part of me.
Yeah.
And through being West African, I have found that I really love educating myself on other cultures and other parts of the world.
Nice. That's beautiful. That's really, really nice. So, as a young child, obviously you were immersed in your culture, and what it meant, and you know how proud your family are from being from Mali, right? About being from Mali.
Yes.
Yes, that's beautiful. So tell me about, school. How was, you being raised here in New York and growing up in the school system, did you have a lot of friends? I mean, you being in the pageant, did you, did you have a lot of enemies? Tell me about that. Tell me about your time in school.
Sure. So for me growing up, one thing that my parents have always instilled in me was that education is key, because knowledge is something that is universal and it's something you can keep with you throughout your entire life. So when I was at school, and even currently now in college, I've always been a go-getter. I've always been someone that has always had A's, and I've always been a girl that has done thousands or maybe even hundreds of extracurricular activities. When I was in middle school, I had the privilege of being accepted into Mark Twain for the Gifted and Talented. That is a school in Brooklyn where you do have to audition. It is one of the top middle schools in Brooklyn for performing arts, and I was able to be a drama major. And I actually was a lead in my school play my senior year, which was pretty cool. We did Annie. I was Miss Hannigan. Amazing time. And honestly, throughout my entire school experience, I have always strived for success, whether it was getting the best grades or even overcoming any scholastic or educational challenge that came my way. And I'm so thankful that my parents instilled that in me, because I have been able to use those characteristics even in pageantry by talking to so many girls and boys around the nation about how pageantry is important and is significant, but it's also important to know that education should be your top priority. And that's what I love about National American Miss, that it continues to inspire children to know that education is so important, because it truly is.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I love that you said that you're so happy that your parents instilled that in you, especially at a young age, to strive for more and to always do your best, especially when it comes to your academics, because it will serve you in your future. So when you were younger, I mean, were there any particular subjects that you were really, really great at? Or were you just an overachiever in everything?
Although I was an overachiever, I think that we all have classes that we struggle in, and there's also classes that we are just naturally amazing in. And a class that I have always had a gift in was probably English or social studies. Like I said before, I love learning about different cultures and just learning about the entire world. So being in social studies class and English class, I was able to learn about both of those things. And I know that when I was in school, math was not my greatest subject. But I always had to practice a little bit more on my math, whether it was getting a tutor for algebra or even just staying an hour later, having my teacher help me.
Right. I love that you mentioned the fact that you wanted to, immerse yourself in different culture. Were you very conscious of the fact that you were in a melting pot of culture, especially in Brooklyn? I'm sure you were around so many diverse cultures. Were you aware and very, present with that? The fact that there's so many people with so many different stories and tales from their life?
I think that as a child, you're not as aware until you become an adult. But my parents, I'm so thankful for them, because they grew me up being very aware of everything that was going on in life. And one of the many things that they made me aware of was that there are people that look like you and there are people that don't look like you. And you are going to meet so many people that do not look like you. And it is so important to treat them like you treat yourself, and to always have respect for other people, despite their ethnicity, their race, or even their religion. And being from Brooklyn, that did also help, because Brooklyn is truly a melting pot.
Yes, it is.
But I think that even if I wasn't in Brooklyn, I would have still understood, because my parents did educate me about that no matter what.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That really is. So when did your love for pageantry come to be? I mean, I know you said you've been doing it for quite some time, but where did you get the idea or the desire? Was there someone you knew? Did you see it on TV? Where was the inspiration? Where did it come from?
My family got a letter in the mail from National American Miss in 2009.
Okay.
And we went to an open call just to see how it was, what was their message, what was their mission, and how would going to National American Miss be able to improve me as a child. Growing up, I was shy, but then again, I wasn't shy. I just felt like I needed a fire under me to really show my fullest potential.
Right.
And after going to a National American Miss open call, my family and I had fallen in love with it. National American Miss is so amazing. And I think one of the most greatest things that I loved about it was that it was all about gaining self-confidence in young women. And that is something that I yearned for. I needed that self-confidence.
Yeah.
And through National American Miss, I was able to gain that self-confidence and also instill it in other boys and girls. So I'd say that just gaining that self-confidence through NAM really inspired me to continue to compete in pageantry.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that from, Celine as well as Christine. And I love the fact that, that's really what their driving mission is just to empower you young ladies and to give you a sense of identity, especially at that young age. And I know it's, competition and you're dressing up and you're getting pretty, but you're still also supposed to have a presence and a confidence about you. So you obviously clearly gained that from immediately from being in there. Now, tell me what's the most important thing that you've learned being part of the National American Miss?
I can talk about the amounts of things that I've learned because I've learned honestly thousands of life lessons from NAM. But I think one lesson that I carry with myself every single day is that you are beautiful no matter what. And despite your circumstances, you can be anything you want to be in life.
Yeah.
Like I said before I began competing in National American Miss, I was not very confident. I remember looking in the mirror and I did not love what I saw. I didn't, because growing up, of course, you look at other people and you're like, wow, they have this and I don't have this. So a lot of the times I compared myself to other people. But it was not until I began competing in National American Miss where I really learned that I'm beautiful just the way I am. And although I might stumble upon an obstacle or two, your obstacles do not define you. What defines you is how you overcome them and how you continue to keep going.
Yes, exactly. I love that you say, and you're honest, that you're transparent about, not loving the person or looking in the mirror and not seeing a beautiful person. I experienced that as a child as well. I didn't know if I'd looked at it as lack of self-confidence or, that I just didn't like what I saw. I think I just was chasing to be like others. I was a 5-year-old running around in blonde wigs because I wanted long hair down my back. And my parents, I think, wanted to send me to a psychiatrist, but it was because the hair that I saw in my head, and though beautiful, it didn't look like what I thought beautiful was, you know? And so therefore I was striving to be that person. So I'm so glad that you acknowledge that fact and know that it does not define you. You are beautiful inside and out. And we need to be sharing that and expressing that to every single little girl in this world, so that they can grow up strong, independent, and self-confident young women. So that's wonderful that you learned that at a young age. Now, I know you said that you went through some, health issues and struggles and in regard to the venous malfunction and the incurable blood vessel illness. When did that happen? Were you young when this happened, or you had grown into, like a young, a teenager at this point?
So I was officially diagnosed with venous malformation when I was about 10 years old. And it was a very dramatic experience for me because the doctors did tell me that it is something that I'm going to die with, that because less than 1% of the world has it, there is only two things they could do. He told me either we could do a surgery, but like we told you, 1% of the world has it. So you'd most likely be a test dummy. And he told me that I'd be paralyzed on one side of my face.
Wow.
And he said the second option is we can put injections to where your venous malformation is, and your face would blow up 10 times the size it is.
Mm.
So it was a very emotional experience for me, especially since being in pageantry. I think a lot of people only think that it's an outside beauty thing.
Right.
So I was very scared. But it was not until I realized that my beauty is within.
Yeah.
And it's a condition that I have. It's a condition that I have to live with, and I've been living with it. And it does not define me. What defines me is how I'm overcoming it and how I'm sharing my story, helping other people. Because yes, 1% of the world has it, but there could be someone that has it right now that's watching me and hearing me and saying, wow,
Exactly.
I have exactly what she has.
Yes, yes. Real quick, what is that disease anyway? I'm not familiar. And to the viewers, what exactly is that?
It is called well, I have a venous malformation. The full name is a vascular malformation. I have it on the side of my face. Maybe you can see it. I don't know if you can.
No.
But it's pretty much an abnormality that is created in your blood vessels. And what it does is your blood clots. So it like clunks together. And I have it on the side of my face, so it can increase where it could be on your hands, any part of your body. It increases the size of wherever it is in your body.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Now, again, since 10 years old, you've had this illness. And I know, that you've been researching and trying to find the best, medical treatment for you. How do you stay positive, going through all of that and still, standing up and going to your pageants and competing? How did you stay positive during that time, especially finding out that young?
I'd stayed positive by continuing to tell myself positive affirmations. You are beautiful, you are worthy, and no matter what, God put you on this earth for a plan and a purpose.
Yes.
And it did not come easy to me. I'm a very positive person, but hearing that I have an incurable facial deformity, it's something that you can't prepare for. So for a long time, I was very sad. I wouldn't even want to look at myself in the mirror. But I had to realize that my physical beauty did not matter. What mattered is who I am. Yeah. And I have accomplished so many things, not because the doctor told me that I've had it my entire life. So I was like, I've accomplished so many goals, I've accomplished so many goals with it. So I can accomplish so many more goals.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. You didn't need them to put an expiration date on you, and how long you're going to be dealing with this. So I love that you just kept pressing through and you didn't let it define you or stop you from pursuing your dreams, because now you are the National American Miss Teen 2022-2023. Tell us a little about that and what does it mean to you?
It means so much to me. I began competing in National American Miss when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
So I grew up in this system. Yeah. I've been through so much competing. Right. So winning this title, I dedicate this to all the boys and girls in impoverished neighborhoods that were told that they wouldn't be anything in life. Because this is much more than a title. This is a legacy that I'm carrying. Yes. And with this legacy, I am going to open doors for so many boys and girls. National American Miss is home for me. It's been home for me. So to be able to represent an amazing system like NAM, I am so blessed. I am so honored. And I'm going to continue to do whatever I can to make sure that everyone in the nation knows what NAM is and its purpose and why it is such an amazing pageant system.
Yeah, no, it is definitely crowning and sponsoring some really beautiful women inside and out. And I knew that just by seeing a video after you won, and I saw the shock first in your face. I saw the genuine like wow disbelief, but immediately after you gathered yourself, you just kept pointing up. You just kept pointing up, and that gave me the chills, because at that moment I knew you knew who and why you were at that moment, who caused you to be at that moment and why you were at that moment. God, it was all God. And you walked the path, and you stayed obedient to obviously his word, because immediately after you won, it was, oh, wow. And then you're walking and you're pointing. And that to me made me just so proud of you, and so happy for you as well, because I know that this is just the beginning, and it's going to open up so many doors to so many amazing things that you have in store for you and what God has in store for you. So you said to me it was a surreal moment. And I know that it's, again, you've been, competing since you were 5 years old. And I know you've gained so much from it as well. In your role, what do you do to teach others? How do you bring the others outside of the pageant world into your world and what you're doing and how you're giving?
I'm able to bring others into my pageant world by educating them on what self-confidence is. Today, I actually went to my elementary school, PS31, where I was able to talk to the third through fifth graders about my experience and how I was able to become successful. And that was also such a surreal experience for me, being able to tell those kids that I was sitting in the same seats that you were sitting in. So you can do anything, anything that you want to. So I've been able to bring people into my pageant life by educating them on truly what pageantry is, but also acknowledging them and
Yeah.
teaching them that you can be anything you want to be in life, because I think that's something that is so important, is being able to relate
Yeah.
to others and being able to show them compassion and how you were able to achieve your goals and how they can do just the same.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. When you were that little girl sitting in that classroom, did you see, who you would be right now in this moment? Did you think past that moment and I'm going to be that, pageant queen? I'm going to be the actress and philanthropist that you are today. Did you see that then?
I knew in my heart that I was going to be something special. And I
Mm,
know it sounds crazy because it's like, how are you 5 years old? How are you able to manifest what you're going to be in life? I knew that was going to be something special. I didn't know what. I knew that I wanted to be an actress.
mm,
I knew that going to National American Miss that I wanted to be just like those girls that had the crowns and banners.
nice.
And I didn't know how I would be able to get my crown and banner, how I would be able to gain my self-confidence to become an actress that I've always dreamed of. But I knew that some way, somehow, that God was going to guide me. And that's exactly what he has been doing since the day I was born, guiding me to success.
I love that. I love that a lot. Let's go back to that little girl then, that, that didn't have that confidence and wasn't really thrilled with the person she saw in the mirror. Those young ladies out there right now that are probably feeling what you felt at that time and seeing the beautiful woman that is before them right now, and dealing with what you're going through, and not even showing it. What would you say to them?
I would tell them that I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I understand, and I've gone through exactly what you're going through. I have not always been as confident as I am today. I'm not scared to say it. I just have not been. But National American Miss brought out that self confidence in me. National American Miss taught me that I am much more than a crown and a sash. I am beautiful. I am goal driven. I am poised, and I am a success. And you are able to be just like me or even better. You can even also compete at National American Miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life is much more than what others think of you.
Yeah.
You are going to be told so many times you're not good enough. You're going to hear thousands of no's. You're going to hear thousands of you're not ready, and that is okay.
Yeah.
But what is important is to always, always dream big. No matter how many obstacles come your way, you are able to do anything you put your mind to. And you are beautiful just the way you are.
Yep. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right, my friend. And I hope that the young ladies today get that message because again, you experienced it. I experienced it, and look how beautiful we are. And it's like, why did we even question it in the first place? And I think it's just having the support around you, but also having, to identify with people who believe in themselves. I think that is very important as well. Surrounding yourself with people that are confident and who know who they are so that you can pass that on to the younger generation. So I'm glad that you're doing that. I'm glad that you're filling that void right now. And I'm sure that there is that void in a lot of school systems and communities. So you're speaking to a lot of people, my friend, and it's a blessing. It really, really is. So, speaking of you being a motivational speaker, and sharing, your path to what you and who you have become now. You mentioned that you was an actress as well. So I understand you did a little performance with your school, and then the next thing you know, you just got the acting bug. So talk to me real quick about, your acting career and your aspirations for that.
I come from a very theatrical family. My uncle writes scripts. My aunt is also an actress. So, growing up for me, acting has always been a natural God given gift that I had. It was not until my school got a grant from Disney where we were able to perform Aladdin. And then we were also given the amazing privilege of performing on the Broadway stage in the Aladdin on Broadway theater. And at that moment, I knew that this is where I wanted to be, that acting was my calling. So since then, I have been able to attend acting school at Mark Twain. And after that, I was able to be a part of a youth group called the Y.O.U Youth Ensemble, which is a group that combines their performing arts love and also their love of social justice activism.
Wow.
And I am currently a Pace University student majoring in acting for film, TV, voiceover, and commercial. I go to one of the most sought after colleges that have, I'm pretty sure Pace has the first ever acting program for film, TV, and voiceover and commercial.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That is so, so great. So you are like really pursuing your path with vigor. And that's it basically. So let me ask you, in, this acting career and doing, I'm sure, entertainment in its entirety, how did that steer you into social justice? Because you mentioned that all together. Where did that come from, your social justice activism?
I remember watching TV and I never saw many girls that looked like me. And that is something that definitely it bothered me. Because I think that it's so hard as a young child not having a role model and then not having a role model that you could at least relate to. So that hurt me a lot. But I promised myself that I would be the role model that I prayed for.
Nice.
And through that, I learned that I'm able to combine my acting and also my love for advocating. So I was actually able to be a part of the Y.O.U Youth Ensemble, where we actually created a skit for an entire year about the census and how we can educate the youth and just adults overall on what the census is and why it is so important. So I was able to voice over so many commercials about the census, and I was able to act in a few skits about what the census truly is and its significance.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really, really amazing. And the fact that they combined the two, and I mean, you need it, you know what I mean? You need the actors to play the parts, but in addition, you're learning something in the process that's very important. Now, speaking of the world and social justice and what the world is today, what do you think that the youth are lacking and that maybe us adults could give them so that they can sort of bypass a lot of the steps that maybe you had to take and I had to take to become the confident people that we are today and the driven and focused people that we are today?
I think the biggest issue in my generation is the lack of knowledge of what a disability truly is. My sister is hearing impaired. And like I said before, I do have a venous malformation and alopecia. And I remember growing up and I felt like no one understood me. And I remember my sister was bullied because she wore hearing aids. And she told me, no one understands me. And it hurt me so much, especially since I was at such a tender age.
Right.
And I remember telling myself, I promise that I'm going to educate as many people as possible about what a disability truly is and how they can educate other people about what a disability is. And I've been able to educate the youth on disability awareness through Kindness with Kayla, my international movement, educating everyone on disability awareness. And that is something that I hope that parents continue to teach their children, because when you are a child, it is so essential to learn as much as you can. These are the future leaders of America. And our future leaders of America, they need to have lots of knowledge about disability awareness, what it is to have a disability. And even if they don't have a disability, you need to understand how it feels, what people with disabilities go through, and the challenges that they want everyone to understand that they experience, and how we can allow them to overcome these challenges.
Yes, 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 yes. I agree. That is very much needed, and the compassion in it is also needed as well. Education first, so that you'll understand that some people just need a little extra care, a little extra concern, just a little extra, just nice and kindness from you as the individual,
Yes.
and support as well. But the compassion, has to be first and foremost. And people need to realize that we're not all built the same. We are very beautiful, every one of us, but we're not all built the same. And it's sad that, some people just don't see that. So I love that you say that. Education is very, very important. Now, with the pageant crowning, what do you get to do this year? Like, what are your duties as the pageant queen?
I have a lot of responsibilities as the National American Miss Teen, and NAM has given me such an amazing prize package. I'm so excited because next month, my sister Queens and I, we are having an amazing photo shoot. I cannot say where yet, but I'm so excited. It's a privilege to be able to work with some of these amazing people that we will be working with.
Nice.
One of the amazing responsibilities that I have as an AM teen is being able to teach the youth on how they can gain self-confidence. And like I stated before, it's something that I didn't have. So it feels like a surreal experience being able to teach children that were the same age that I was about self-confidence. I'm also able to not only teach the youth on what self-confidence is, but I have been able to be a motivational speaker with so many children. And in the summer, I will be going on a summer tour with my sister queens. We'll be going to lots of pageants, lots of National American Miss pageants. So I will be able to be a role model to children all across the nation.
Yeah. This is the time for it too. It really, really is. We're in a very crazy world right now. So beautiful, inspirational, motivational people like yourself is definitely needed, especially for our youth. Now, I know that you have a movement that you created, and your movement is exactly what our topic is, which is about kindness and the beauty of kindness. So tell us a little about Kindness with Kayla. What does that mean, and how did that come about?
Like I said before, my sister grew up with severe hearing loss. So
Mm,
she wore hearing aids growing up. And she's also legally blind in one of her eyes. So she did have to wear an eye patch that her entire childhood.
mm,
And she was severely bullied. As for me, being diagnosed with an incurable facial deformity, I also experienced many adversities. I may have not experienced the adversities that my sister experienced, but I also experienced feeling unwelcome and also feeling like I had a lack of representation. So I created Kindness with Kayla as a way to make sure that no child ever endures the pain that my sister felt and that I felt. And through Kindness with Kayla, I have been able to speak to thousands of children about what it means to have a disability and how to uplift children with disabilities, because your disability does not define you. What defines you is how you turn your tragedies into a success story and how you turn those obstacles into success stories.
yes, you're absolutely right. What steps did you take? Especially having your sister deal with, the bullying and feeling, I'm sure she felt self-confident as well about what she was going through. Um, what what steps did you take to not only help her, but to help yourself overcome those challenges?
The
Other
first,
than, go ahead.
oh, you keep going. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, obviously, you were a National American Miss, and I know that
Mhm.
helped you.
Yes.
But was there anything else outside of that? Any personal work that you personally put in um, that helped you? And what steps were they?
The first step that I took was educating myself.
Mhm.
It is so important to educate yourself. And I knew that it was so significant to understand what my sister was going through and even read stories of other children that are going through similar circumstances or even completely different. So I immersed myself in what a disability truly is. And that was me reading vocabulary words.
Mhm.
It was also understanding why you cannot say certain phrases or certain words. So
Right.
that was the first thing I did. And then the second thing I did was I volunteered a lot with special needs places and organizations such as the Special Olympics, which is one of my most favorite places to volunteer at. Over 4 years ago, I had the amazing opportunity of participating in a bowling match that they had for the people with disabilities.
Mhm.
And I was actually able to award all the children and adults with medals. And it was such an amazing experience. That was also one of the steps that I took.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is. And also, not just helpful to you, but helpful to them as well, because
Mhm.
now you're supporting and you're also participating and learning at the same time. That is so wonderful. Well, I mean, I know your sister, just loves the fact that you are there for her and that you are showing her through, your kindness and through your power what it actually looks like. So I know that she is very self-confident, very confident now, and I'm sure she feels very strong and empowered. Is she older or younger than you?
She is older than me.
She's older than you. Okay, all right. So I think that's just truly wonderful. You really are an inspiration, and I'm glad that you're doing things to help those that have special needs. Also, I know that you also mentioned that you had a book, and you also are dealing with alopecia. Alopecia is the hair loss caused by autoimmune disease, correct?
Yes.
And when were you diagnosed with that?
I was diagnosed with alopecia my freshman year in high school.
Oh, wow. Wow. So tell me about this book that you wrote, which is I Am Not My Hair, I Am My Soul. I love that title. I want to know where you came up with it. But tell us a little about what that book means and how did that book come about?
That book means everything to me. I was diagnosed with alopecia my freshman year in high school, and it was a very hard experience for me. Growing up, I was always known for having big, beautiful hair. It was practically a part of my identity. And I come from a very woman dominated family where the women in my family, they're very empowering and they're very independent. So for me, hair was always something that I highly appreciated. My mom would always do my hair as a fun activity for us. So that was also a way of us just to connect. So when I was diagnosed with alopecia, I felt like my life was practically over. I said, I already have an incurable facial deformity and now I have an autoimmune disease. How many more obstacles can come my way? So after I was diagnosed, I had to get a lot of medical attention. I was given shots in my head for my hair to grow back.
Wow.
And the shots were very painful. The entire experience was very traumatic for me, especially since I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
But through that experience, I told myself that yet again, you are able to learn something from this experience. And there are so many people that are going through what you're going through. So you need to turn this story, this tragedy, into a success story. Wow. And that is what I did. I created I Am Not My Hair, I Am My Soul as a way to share my experience, but also uplift children with alopecia and even children that are going through any problem, that your hair does not define you. You are beautiful just the way they are. And what defines you is who you are in the inside. And in the future, next year, I am going to go on a nationwide book tour, giving my book for free to children all around the nation.
I love that. That's a beautiful idea, Kayla. I really love that. And I know that it will uplift a lot of children that are going through it and probably don't have the resources and the information and maybe the tools that you have, to overcome the feeling that they have, dealing with hair loss. So I'm glad that you're out there motivating and speaking your truth so that others can identify and resonate with your story and be empowered by it, because it really truly is empowering. The fact that you're speaking to the youth about confidence and self-esteem, and then also the ailments and the illnesses that you've gone through. Where do you find that strength? Where do you find that faith? I know that you believe in God, but tell us a little about your journey and how you gained that core strength.
Growing up, God was always a focal point in my life. And I knew with him that I would be able to accomplish anything that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
And I know so many times throughout my life, I heard so many no's. I heard so many, you're not ready, or maybe this isn't for you. But I had to realize that a no does not necessarily mean no. To God, that is a redirection. To God, that might be you need more time. Or maybe this path is not ready for you. So I found a lot of faith through believing in God, through reading my Bible. I know that life gets very hard. There has been so many goals that I have wanted to achieve, or just so many things that I have wanted. But God told me it is not your time. And even when I was competing in National American Miss, I did not win my first state title until 2018. And I've been competing in National American Miss since 2009.
Wow.
And looking back, I always tell myself, I say that was God telling me it's not your time yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is exactly where I get my faith from.
Yeah.
It's where I also get my confidence from, because he has also instilled this confidence in me since the day I was born.
That's lovely. That is so lovely. And oh my God, I know so many girls would agree with that as well. Taking that step and that path and believing in God and just stepping out on that faith is huge, you know, and it's also something that you just have to stay in it, be obedient, and just let him direct you and lead you and don't question it. Because just like you said, it wasn't a matter of that no, it was just a matter of not now, not you're not ready. Just I got something bigger and better in store for you, and just give it a moment and it will happen. So I'm glad that you stayed positive, and more importantly, I'm glad that you stayed faithful and grounded and rooted in your belief and faith in God. So that's really, really amazing. I hope that everyone gets that message, that that's all you have to do is just stay focused, stay in line with his message and his word, and listen to what he is saying, you know, because in that moment you were going through so much, you could have, you know, just wanted it so badly that when you didn't get it, you know, your feelings, you know, could have been hurt. You could have, you know, I'm giving up. I don't want to do this anymore. But you knew that it just wasn't your time, but your time was coming. And that's beautiful, Kayla. It really, really is. So tell me we got a few minutes left. Just tell me real quick, what are your hopes for the future? And what would you like to leave our Unity and its viewers with before we go?
I have so many goals in the future, so many aspirations that I know that I will achieve one day. One of those is becoming an Academy Award-winning actress. I am working so hard towards that goal at Pace University. And I had the amazing opportunity this summer. I actually didn't get to talk about this, but I will talk a little bit about it. I had the amazing opportunity this summer being able to being a background actor for Queen Latifah, a new film that she's doing. And I was also able to be a background actor for a show that I cannot say now, but the season.
Oh, do I need an NDA?
I mean, I'm just so thankful that I was able to be a background actor, especially since, like I said before, God's timing is always right. And sometimes the tiniest steps are the most important ones. So I am taking my tiny steps to the big stage and to the front of the camera. And I also had the opportunity of modeling for a national cosmetic company. So in the future, I do want to continue to model and continue to be that representation that you can be anything you want to be in life, and that your size does not matter, where you come from does not matter. And I'm so thankful that you have allowed me to be here. And I'm so thankful for National American Miss for giving me this platform where I'm able to reach millions of boys and girls throughout the nation, inspiring them and encouraging them. And if you are a girl and you are interested in competing at National American Miss, you can compete by www.nammiss.com. National American Miss is amazing. And I promise you, it will positively change your life like it has done to me. I'm so thankful for being here. Thank you again.
No problem. Thank you so much, Kayla, for being here. We want to put up your information real quick where everyone can follow you and your greatness as you uncover all of the blessings that God has in store for you. I just can't wait. I will be following, my friend. So just keep me posted on anything that you have going on. You can reach her Instagram, TikTok, and as well as Facebook. But we will definitely be keeping an eye on you because you're destined for some greatness. Like you said, the youth are the future leaders of the world, and you are definitely putting in the work right now. And I can't wait to see what you achieve. Okay. All right. So we're going to get real quick to the Dare to Be You. And the Dare to Be You is: for beautiful eyes, look for the good in others. For beautiful lips, speak only words of kindness. And for poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never alone. That is exactly what our beautiful guest has said to us this evening. That first, Your circumstances do not define who you are. No matter what you've been up against, you definitely, with faith and with persistence and with work and with confidence, will be able to overcome anything and be the victor and triumph. She's also informed us that we must be kind to others, educate ourselves, share with others what we are going through, but also show them what we're going through so they'll have a better understanding and be a little compassionate towards the things that we're dealing with. Kayla, I think I asked you also, what would you like to share, any parting words with our viewers about who you are and what you hope for the future for us as a nation?
Thank you. I hope in the future that we come to a time that everyone is accepted and that everyone is loved. And I know that through my legacy as the National American Miss Teen, I am going to make sure that that happens. And I'm going to be a part of that change to make sure that everyone is treated equally and that we love every single person that is on this earth. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. And in the future, you guys will see me on the big screens. You guys will see me on your magazine covers. And I can't wait to come back. Remember to always, always love who you are in the inside. Because if you do not love yourself, how can anybody love you?
That's right.
How can anyone love you? So just continue to love who you are.
Thank you, sister. My beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sister. You have definitely been a pleasure. And I just, again, just wish nothing but goodness and greatness and kindness upon you and your family and everything that you wish to accomplish, okay? I want to thank you guys for watching another episode of Your Unity. I know you're in awe of her. You ain't got to tell me. Just hit repeat and you can watch it all over again. All the wonderful, beautiful things that this woman spoke. I want you to have a wonderful evening. And please remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. I love you so much, and you have a wonderful evening. And say good night, Kayla.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
Strong Island Entertainment.